you guys hear me talk about adaptation and throwing out different phases, mixing up your workouts because you don't want to stay in one modality just because our bodies will become super efficient at it, and it'll be easier for our body and we won't see change. We'll kind of plateau. So that kind of leads me to that next topic is you need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. Wow. It's up to pump like that in a minute. What's up, guys? For anyone who doesn't follow me on social media, big news. Me and my wife just had a baby boy, Aaron James, AJ for short. Super excited about that, super happy. But for those who do have children, know the added stressor that comes with, the lack of sleep, and, adapting to having more than, in my case, more than one more child in the household. I'm not talking about personal stress though, in terms of, relationships, family, stuff like that. The stress that I want to talk about is that physical stress that takes a toll on our body, but is super important for growth. With that being said, life and weight training both have stressors. These stressors are super important, but it's important when they are applied correctly, that making us grow as an adaptation to that stress. You guys hear me talk about adaptation and throwing out different phases, mixing up your workouts, because you don't want to stay in one modality just because our bodies will become super efficient at it, and it'll be easier for our body and we won't see change. We'll kind of plateau. So that kind of leads me to that next topic, is you need to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So this is something that I got from college, playing football. Coaches always preached it, and I never really understood it until later in my career, but it is something that I apply to myself all the time. You have to kind of put yourself in situations so that you're ready for the pressure of a big moment in a super important game like a bowl game, or the pressure of getting married. So it works in many ways in terms of life and physical accolades that you're searching out for. In terms of training, effective training is something that is repetitive, something that's intense, and something that's regular. So repetitive and regular kind of run together. It's that frequency that I talk about, why I do 3 foundational days where I'm hitting the same muscle groups, mostly with those compound lifts. So I think it's super important that those stresses that we put on our body are regular, and they need to be intense. I'm not saying going balls to the wall all the time, but we have to listen to our body, and I'll kind of get to that a little bit later. That's super important, is that intensity accelerates growth. So that's why I think the way that I program for myself and my clients is that once we get to a point where we know that we won't cause any injury, we need to increase that intensity, making sure that we're continuing to push the body, which, like I said, is a stress, but it helps us grow not only our muscles, but our minds as well, which is super important when we talk about the CNS. And I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole right now, but it's just super important for our muscles to grow. In life, problems, they will only make us grow if we are listening, learning, and improving ourselves through those problems. So stresses and problems are good to have as long as we're learning from them, growing from them. The very important part of it is that the body is an accessory to the mind. So the mind controls everything. So that's super important, the mindset that we have around the stress. So if we have a negative mindset, like being super stressed out and not having an outlet for it, especially if it's in our day-to-day lives, it can be very daunting and draining. So if we can, move that stress into a bigger light, using it towards growth, it's super important to wrap your mind around the stress and how it affects your body and how it can affect your body positively. But the mind and muscles have that ability to adapt. So the way that we do that is continuously putting it through stress, seeing how it affects our body or our mind, reflect on it, and make those changes through the programming to our day-to-day lives that helps us improve and grow from that. And I just kind of want to leave you guys with this. Obviously the big note is stress, but nothing worth doing is going to be easy. So I hope you guys enjoy this. Please like, subscribe, comment if you will. Let me know what you guys think. All right, peace.